it's very interesting to know what makes a city. It's something you cannot read in maps, and it's something that you definitely cannot see on your computer. You have to live in the street, you have to walk there to understand how people share the street, how they share public space, how do they get their services, and how do they celebrate their city. And these are important things that in the future make cities what they are. My name is Amanda Terpa and I'm an urban planner located in Albania, and today I will share some important insights into the planning process into one of the major cities in Albania, which is Skadra city, located right behind me. As you all know, the planning process is quite a vigorous process which requires a multi-scale, multidisciplinary approach and also requires for many actors to be involved. As such, I will share three main insights into planning this marvelous city behind me. Skadra is located in the northwestern part of Albania. It shares a border with Montenegro. It has a very big number of cultural, natural heritage resources, which makes it a very important cultural touristic part of the Albanian country. As you know, it's very important in the planning process, of course, to consider all of the outputs and of course the challenges which must be coming together in a key point to bring planning into a wider audience. So the first insight I would love to share with you is that coming into a new city such as Skadra, which had a very big problem with data collection but also data representation, which made the number of resources it had quite unmanageable but also not recognized widely, it made this very challenging to start the planning process itself. So one of the first challenges the team tackled for the case of Skadra would be exactly this. So getting to know the territory and of course observing how the territory interacts, the people, and of course the services, and how all of this comes together to bring life to the city. As we all must understand, all of the challenges process go through a number of formal procedures, which also was the case for this municipality. The plan itself was divided into three main parts. So the first part of the plan was to get to know the territory, to understand a little bit what happens to the people. How do people use space? How do they picture and imagine themselves within this space? And how do they feel about their city? But one of the most important things was also to understand what does this mean in terms of economic relationships, of course in terms of social relationships, but of course also in terms of assets that this municipality has. So the first part, which I shared with you previously, it's exactly this. To understand a little bit how these components in data but also in experience come together to bring a vast database into understanding how these components are unveiled within the city. The second and very important component would be to understand what are the key players within one city. Skadra is a very interesting municipality because it's also host to a few of largest economic entrepreneurship and businesses in the region. Of course, as such, has a number of stakeholders which do have a very big interest into the development of the municipality, but of course also into the future economic development of this municipality and its potential to reach even more. And of course, the second part would be a very important sitting down with understanding which these stakeholders are and how they are organized within the territory. What kind of necessary means do these stakeholders deem to be represented in the territory? And of course, this is part of the third and very important part, which will be the participatory planning part. As you all know, planning cities, it's quite a long process. However, it's very important that the city is planned for the people that live there, for the people that can always use the city, make it better, live in it, and of course, develop it further. Participatory planning, it was a quite new approach when this process started. The plan of Skadra in itself started after the reorganizing of the territorial administrative units for Albania, which happened in 2015, where 356 administrative units were redivided into 61 new municipalities, one of them being exactly this city. As you might know, the participatory planning process, it's a process which requires bringing together into the table of discussion different stakeholders, but also people who have and use their city every day, but also want to know what is going to happen, how is their life will be impacted by this plan, and will this impact be good or bad. And that is something only people can give an impact and also a feedback to. So it's very, very important to bring together not only the legal representatives, stakeholders, but also people, students, young mothers, people who do different kind of services in the area and in the municipality, just to understand what this means in terms of these actors operating within the municipality. So it's very, very important to understand how this participatory process can impact the future of the outcomes of the objectives and then making this plan possible, because after all we do plan, however we plan for people and to make their lives better and of course increase the potential of the municipality. It's a very, very important tool because it gave a platform to students, young people, but also all groups of interest and all the people who live in this municipality to be involved, to understand and ask about their city, but also be active participants in the future planning of this municipality, which is actually quite wonderful. It was my pleasure to share with you these 3 insights, and I think they are quite similar to a lot of planning tools used in different planning initiatives. However, I do think that the Skadra municipality has a little bit of a special focus on this, mainly because it was newly formed by the new administrative division with its new municipalities added. So it was a newly municipality in its structure, however it was not new, but this represented quite a new challenge of territorial management for the municipality. And I think we've had a quite interesting talk, and I thank you so much. And